The legend of the Loch Ness Monster. In the heart of the Scottish Highlands lies a mysterious lake known as Loch Ness, its deep, dark waters shrouded in legend and mystery. For centuries, locals have told tales of a fearsome creature lurking in its depths, a monster with a long, serpentine body and a wicked set of jaws that could crush a boat in its jaws. While many dismissed the stories as mere myth, others remained convinced that something truly extraordinary lurked beneath the surface of the loch. One such believer was a young girl named Eyelid, who grew up in a small village on the banks of Loch Ness. From the time she was old enough to understand the tales of the monster, she had been fascinated by the idea of it. She would spend hours sitting by the water's edge, watching for any sign of movement, any ripple that might indicate the presence of the creature. As she grew older, her curiosity only deepened, and she began to read everything she could find about the history of the loch and its supposed inhabitant. Despite her obsession, Eyelid never actually believed she would have a chance to see the monster herself. But one day, while she was out walking along the shore, something caught her eye. A disturbance in the water, a flash of something dark and sleek just beneath the surface. Heart racing, she ran closer, peering out into the loch, searching for any sign of what she had seen. And then, suddenly, there it was. The monster, just as she had always imagined it, rising up out of the water like some prehistoric beast. It was enormous, with a long, snake-like body covered in thick, scaly skin. Its eyes glinted in the sunlight, and its jaws opened wide, revealing a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. Eyelid could hardly believe her luck. She watched in awe as the creature swam around in the water, its movements slow and powerful. Over the weeks and months that followed, Eyelid became obsessed with the monster, spending every moment she could out by the loch, watching and studying the creature. She drew sketches of it, recorded her observations, and talked to anyone who would listen about what she had seen. But the more she learned, the more she realized how little she actually knew. Who was the monster? What was its purpose? Why had it stayed hidden for so long? As she delved deeper into the mystery of the Loch Ness Monster, Eyelid began to uncover more and more clues about its true nature. She learned about the many reported sightings over the years, and even spoke with a few locals who claimed to have seen the creature themselves. But there was still so much that remained unknown. What did the monster eat? Where did it go when it wasn't visible? And most importantly, was it truly a monster, or something else entirely? Eyelid was determined to find out. She spent years studying the loch and its ecosystem, poring over scientific papers and consulting with experts in the field. And finally, one day, she had her breakthrough. A discovery that would change everything she thought she knew about the Loch Ness Monster. It turned out that the monster was not a monster at all, but rather a species of ancient fish that had been long thought extinct. Its unusual appearance was the result of centuries of evolution, adapting to the unique environment of the loch. And while it was certainly fearsome looking, it was ultimately harmless, feeding mostly on smaller fish and crustaceans. With her discovery, Eyelid became something of a legend herself. Her research shed new light on the mystery of the Loch Ness Monster, and helped to dispel many of the myths that had surrounded. As the years went by, people continued to report sightings of the mysterious creature in the waters of Loch Ness. Some claimed to have seen it breach the surface of the water, while others swore they saw its long, serpentine body swimming just below the surface. But despite numerous attempts to capture or even just get a clear photograph of the creature, no concrete evidence of its existence was ever found. Skeptics dismissed the reports as hoaxes or misidentifications of known animals, while believers remained convinced that the Loch Ness Monster was real and simply too elusive to capture. In the end, the legend of the Loch Ness Monster persisted, becoming a beloved part of Scottish folklore and a fascination for people around the world. The lake continued to draw visitors hoping for a glimpse of the elusive creature, and some even claimed to have had encounters with it themselves. But whether or not the Loch Ness Monster truly exists remains a mystery, one that has captured the imaginations of people for generations and continues to inspire curiosity and wonder to this day. The next morning, the entire town was buzzing with the news of the sighting. Everyone was talking about it, and many people were convinced that the creature was indeed the Loch Ness Monster. As the days passed, more and more people claimed to have seen the creature, and the legend of the Loch Ness Monster grew even stronger. Tourists from all over the world flocked to the area in the hopes of catching a glimpse of the creature for themselves. But despite the countless sightings and the numerous expeditions that were launched to try and capture the creature, no one was ever able to prove the existence of the Loch Ness Monster. Years went by, and the town eventually became a bustling tourist destination, with hotels, restaurants, and gift shops lining the shores of the loch. The legend of the Loch Ness Monster became a part of the town's identity, and even those who were skeptical of its existence couldn't deny the magic and mystery that surrounded the lake. And then, one day, a group of scientists announced that they had discovered a large, unidentified creature in the depths of Loch Ness. The news sent shockwaves through the town and the world, and people waited with bated breath for the results of the scientists' research. Finally, after months of studying their findings, the scientists announced that the creature was not, in fact, the Loch Ness Monster, but rather a large species of eel that had never been seen before. The news was met with disappointment by some, but the town's residents and the tourists who loved the legend of the Loch Ness Monster were undeterred. The legend continued to thrive, and the town continued to welcome visitors from all over the world who came to experience the magic and mystery of the loch. And even though the Loch Ness Monster had never been proven to exist, the legend lived on, a testament to the power of human imagination and the enduring allure of the unknown.